And now
we're live.
We're live.
Oh my God, we're on the internet.
We're live on the internet.
We're live on the internet.
Are you excited?
One dad on the internet.
It's on the internet.
Oh my gosh.
Hey everybody, we just watched Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga. We are literally right back from the movie theater.
Literally.
Like as of it ended 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, there was a drive, a tinkle, and a let's go.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and we made it back. I'm joined by my friend Mike Wolf. The most appropriate person to go see a Mad Max movie with, because you live in Michigan where the roads are basically Mad Max.
Oh man, if only they were that good. Yeah. Did you see that road? It was perfect.
The one they made?
Yeah, it was perfect.
Yeah.
It was gorgeous.
And if you've never seen a We Just Watched before, we will spoil everything in this movie, give our opinions, break down the basic plot.
If you want to.
And also, we're going to give some, not just spoilers, but also some theories about the movie that we just watched.
I'm going to go with facts. We're only throwing straight facts.
Just straight facts. Straight facts. So, Furiosa Mad Max Saga came out this weekend. We went and watched it Saturday. It opened Friday, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think
so. We're pretty fresh to it, and we figured we'd record this today. It's already up for patrons, so if you're a patron, you probably watch this live as we're recording it. We got the chat here looking at it, so we can talk to people too. And we'll be having this go up Sunday, obviously, as I render it and put it up for the rest of the world. So we'll lead with thoughts. What were your thoughts? What did you think about this movie?
Excellent. It was absolutely an excellent movie.
It was everything I wanted it to be.
It was slightly more.
Yeah.
Because generally when they go back to the well, which is pretty much what this was, you know, it's corny, or it's lots of throwbacks, or it can't stand on its own without the first one generally when they do this. This one could have launched before Fury Road and been perfectly fine. Yeah. It would have been. It's an excellent movie.
Now, that being said, I can completely understand why some people aren't going to like it. I think that people aren't going to like it if they expected another Fury Road.
Potentially.
That's the reason why, because I think if some people go in and they're expecting a non-stop spectacle,
that's not
2
what
hours
this is.
long, that's not what this is.
Yeah, no, this is storytelling, like legitimate, in a Mad Max world that has never happened before. Like this is different from every other Mad Max movie.
The format is completely new. It's an anthology.
The whole thing.
To get that out of the way, it's an anthology format. It's split into 5 sections, and it chronicles the entire life story post leaving the Green Place of Imperator Furiosa, who is our main protagonist in Mad Max Fury Road. So because it's an anthology format, the reason I liked it so much is it delivers a ton of information that we just do not have, except for in bits and pieces in all the other Mad Max movies.
Exactly
right. We get a full sort of like expose on life in the Wasteland, the dynamics between the Bullet Farm, Gastown, and the Citadel, the Green Place itself. We see some actual insight into and like what it was. Yeah. Right at the beginning of the film, and then we get to see this transformation from this stolen girl into being. Well, she's a Praetorian at the end of the film.
Yeah, she's a Praetorian at the end of the film.
She becomes Imperator Furiosa, and we end with the seamless transition between the two movies.
I think
and with the kidnapping of the brides.
It's a great. It justifies everything that she did in Fury Road. Yeah, and why she was so adamant about it. Yeah, right. You understand her drive, and she is fueled by hate. Like
that's it. And there's a great line. There's a great line at the end. So should we give? Do you think we should give the spoiler away? Because this is also.
Oh, you want to like get into?
So I want to get into it. Because
right.
I also think. One of the things this does traditionally is that she bears witness to someone else's story as well.
That's true.
And that's a tradition in all Mad Max films that someone, except for the first one, actually, the second, third, and fourth ones, you are bearing witness to someone else's journey through the protagonist in the film, typically. So Max in Fury Road is bearing witness to Furiosa's journey, and Max is bearing witness to the... Lost Children, Captain Walker's Lost Children in Thunderdome, and to the oil derrick like survivors basically in Road Warrior.
Yep, exactly right.
In this movie, Imperator Furiosa is bearing witness to the journey of Dementis.
Yes. Who is
and this is our
straight facts.
Straight facts.
Straight facts.
Dementis is Max.
Dementis is Max.
This is so spoiler if you haven't seen this movie already. We already told you, we warned you. But Dementis is Max from the first.
To be fair, they don't come out and say it.
They never say it.
If you read between the lines.
Not if you read between the lines. If you just look at him.
If you watch the fucking movie.
And you've seen the previous 3 films, Dementus
he
is
Max.
absolutely Max.
He is 100% Max
from the previous films.
And we talked about this before too a little bit. So, and this is why I 100% believe that this is true. 110% believe that this is true.
This is the Mike Wolf guarantee.
Yeah. So the first draft of a Fury Road, Max was actually he had lost his mind.
He's
like
insane.
he was insane, completely insane. And the whole premise of Fury Road was Furiosa saving Max.
Yeah.
He falls in love with her. Yeah. She brings him back his humanity.
And I hate that story, by the way.
Yeah, no, and that's why they gutted it. Because they're like, that's not fucking Max, right? So, but in this one, they bring it back, but they don't save him.
No.
They just let him, like, the Wasteland won.
No, it's not even that. It's not even that they don't save him. And this is another spoiler for the end. He gives it to Furiosa.
Oh yeah, he does.
That's the thing, is that the madness is passed on.
Yeah.
Right? That he's infectious and he's passed.
It's the rage. It's the anger.
So let's break down why this is Max real before we go into the 5 sections.
Yeah. Justify our.
So the first and foremost one is he has Max's leg brace and leather pants. Like there's no reason for Dementus to have the leg brace and leather pants without it being Max. Also, they've made him up to look like Mel Gibson.
So he's got prosthetics.
He's got a prosthetic nose. He has prosthetic ears.
For no reason.
For no reason at all.
It was his actual nipples that get ripped off. Spoiler.
Nipples ripped off,
but yeah, there was no reason for any of that.
And he's doing a 1970s, like, I'm the guy that keeps Mr.
hardcore accent. Yeah, it was great.
He's not, like, that is not at all what he sounds like. Exactly. So he is doing a Mad Max, he's doing a 70s to 80s Mel Gibson impression almost the entire movie.
He is.
And he has this teddy bear that to him represents his lost loved ones.
Yes.
His girls.
Specifically, his girls, his daughter specifically.
Yeah, and his wife. Yeah. And that all of those pieces together make this, it's not possible to be anybody but Max. It's never said out loud. And Dementus just means demented. It means insane.
Yeah.
So like, and the final sort of like piece of this is, he thinks he's a hero.
Oh, he absolutely does.
He's saving the Wasteland from these warlords, and by taking these places over with his horde of like killers, basically, that he's gonna save everybody and make a better Wasteland. So there's a whole bunch of like dog whistly stuff about this being Max, and I firmly believe that this is Max.
Oh no, it is Max. Like, there is no other. I mean, here's the thing. So Miller did it in a way that if he doesn't want it to be Max, he can totally make it not Max, and it will go. But it's Max.
But I'll go to the mat saying it's Max.
Yeah, it's Max.
Yeah. So they've tied, and by doing this, they've tied 1, 2, 3 this in between, and then Fury Road together.
Oh yeah, no, it's perfect.
And it seamlessly transitions all the films.
Yeah, it's absolutely perfect. Now I do like your theory that new Max, so Max from Fury Road, was the mute kid from Thunderdome.
Kid, yeah. That's not just my theory. That's everybody's theory.
Yeah.
That's
so
just
like
open theory.
Straight up, like that.
Although
works.
Miller said it's not, but Miller can say whatever he wants.
But here's the thing. But again, because it's Miller, though, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
He can plug in anything he wants to because he's never committed.
Yeah.
He lets you take it where you want to take it.
Well, and it's funny because he is not a commitment director or writer.
Right.
His whole thing is show don't tell. So if you ask him something straight up, he'll just say something that's the opposite, because he wants you to take his stuff and take from it what you will when you watch it.
Right. And so we had a little bit of a debate today about it, because I was like, well, Fury Road was a reboot. And you're like, fuck you, it wasn't a reboot.
No.
And I'm like, no, it was totally a reboot.
No.
And so here's the thing. It totally was a reboot.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it is. It's a whole new Max. It's a whole new new future for Mad Max, right?
Oh,
it's a whole new Max.
Clearing the way to do new stories.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's a whole, it's a reboot in the sense that it's not a reboot of remaking the original Max. It's a reboot of basically rebooting the franchise with a new Max.
Sure, if you change the terms of what reboot means, then
no. Reboot doesn't. Well, here's the thing. If it was a reboot, though, it would have been a direct rip from the first one.
Franchise, or is it rebooting the original stories?
No, it's not rebooting the original story.
Then it's rebooting
and
the
I never said it was.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was. I never did. I never said it was.
It's a reboot.
Listen, if you make assumptions, that's on you, bitch. That's 100% on you.
Fair enough. Okay. So that basically is our preamble, and you can tell.
Welcome to the show.
That this is going to be a great show already.
It's going to be
great. So we're going to go through the 5 sections. Again, it is literally divided with section headers and section titles, and I took note of them all. The first one is the Poll of Inaccessibility.
Yeah.
And this is our lead into the entire film, which starts with Furiosa taking a peach from a tree, and this is going to be really important. Because
so important.
She and the kids are off, basically, at the edge of the green place, her and her friend, and they hear a noise and discover these 4 small like huddled figures around a bunch of parked motorcycles.
Mm-hmm.
Furiosa says, "Wait, be still as a stone," to the younger child, crawls down a wall, starts sabotaging the motorcycles.
Yeah, straight. First thing she does. She doesn't think about anything.
She starts cutting gas lines.
Ding, 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 ding.
Cutting gas lines, which is great because we don't really like we see her competency almost immediately. That she's like weirdly highly skilled. And then gets captured. Gets surprised and captured by one of these bikers. They're all around a horse they've killed that they're eating.
They slaughtered a horse.
They slaughtered a horse. They're like super excited about it. They immediately grab Furiosa, knock her unconscious. As she's running away with this whistle that she's whistling like a specific like key set of notes to. That's obviously like some kind of warning.
Yep.
And we pan back through the forest into the green place.
Yep.
It looks like what you want a survivor's community to look
It's Land of the Lost, like in a valley, or like a. It's like a valley.
It's in a valley. Yeah, it's in a valley.
It's pretty. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, but it's basically there's like a verdant, like sort of Nile Delta valley. So there's this like safe place in between these two huge rocky escarpments. There's water flowing through it. It has greenery. There's stuff growing. There's huge wind turbines. There's buildings.
Like, lots of people. Tons of people.
Yeah, and no one looks ill. No one looks malnourished.
They look happy.
They look happy and healthy.
Yeah, like everything's great.
They look like a community. They don't look like Mad Max characters.
Yeah.
They look like a community that's doing well. But two of them immediately, one's riding a horse, the other one is like sharpening a machete.
Oh yeah.
Puts the machete away, jumps on the horse, and they go
Amazonian style too. Like
like Legolas in Two Towers style.
No, I was thinking it's literally like a cut from Wonder Woman when the horse goes by and then the queen it's the exact
I'm thinking of the
cut
Legolas one where he like upside downs on the horse.
It wasn't quite like that, but it was way more like Wonder Woman.
Competent.
Very good though.
So they rip out into the desert after these bikers. From horseback, one of the two women jumps off and just immediately shoots a guy off.
They're all cracked shots, by the way. 6 miles down the road, 306 just drops them.
Just like nothing but headshots. It's amazing.
All day.
And steals a motorbike. The other one gets off the horse, gets on the motorbike, and they go ripping off into the desert.
Her mother.
We don't know that yet. We have no idea.
Don't know it there, but we know it's her mother.
But we will realize eventually that one of these two women is the mother.
Yeah.
And tracks these raiders through the desert, slowly killing them.
Yeah.
Acquiring like the best motorcycle at one point.
She upgrades
motorcycles like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, she's upgrading.
And tracks
the Thunderbike, I think they call it.
With Thunderbike, that's right. With Furiosa eventually getting loose and stabbing one of the two, there's one remaining raider that's ripping into this like encampment.
So she was actually sabotaging the bike while that was like riding. She was chewing through a metal gas line.
It's a lot.
While they're driving.
Gas. As they get there, the sort of like lone surviving, not surviving, but one of them goes back to the green place. The other one goes after Furiosa and the last of the raiders. Furiosa is being taken into this sort of like horde, this like parked biker raider horde. And the last of the green place like warriors is looking down a rifle, and Furiosa basically uses this guy's got this like whip.
It's like a spine whip thing. It's crazy.
It's incredible, but wraps around the guy's neck and
spokes
falls off, spokes the bike,
and it
rips this guy's head off practically.
Yeah,
and the shooter
he's
just
talking
goes
out of his throat.
Yeah, the shooter just goes, "Good girl."
Yeah, good girl.
It's really good. And we were led to this encampment basically. There's this one-eyed figure. He's like one of the lieutenants, basically, that's arguing with the survivor while this happens, and they bring the girl inside. Meanwhile, this lone figure is taking the bodies and the armor of one of the raiders and disguising herself as a raider and infiltrating the camp.
Yep.
And now we're introduced to Dementus
in a very unique way.
He is wearing white, like anti-glare sun robes over top of
it was a parachute.
Was it a parachute that he'd just done up?
Doubled it up.
Oh, he doubled up a parachute. Yeah. Okay, that's why it was all silky. It's a white parachute. This thing lasts the entire movie and gets progressively grosser for different reasons.
Well, because he dies
kind of awesome. Well, first there's a smoke bomb that dies it, but later on the oil sprays.
That's true. Yeah.
And it gets weird because it goes from it's white at the bottom. And it's kind of like his progression of madness.
Yeah, that's 100% what it is.
Through visually through the parachute. But at this point, he's just kind of questioning. We can't really see who it is.
Yeah.
And they're debating what to do with her. And they're trying to interrogate this dying raider whose throat is completely cut out and get him to point where they came from. Because before he dies, or before he's incapacitated, he manages to say that there's a place of plenty, a place of abundance. This girl knows where that is.
This is also where we meet the bioengineer guy.
And we meet, and as that happens, he bleeds to death. And they say point to where it is. They like rip up a bunch of ground so you can like dig in the dirt and try and point where it is. But he's dying. And they see the girl. And so Dementis turns around. We see that it's Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, Chris Hemsworth,
in a lot of prosthetics.
Lot.
But looking pretty Chris Hemsworth. And then we see in the background the organic mechanic shows up. From Fury Road.
That's right, yeah.
And he inspects her and says, "This is a full born,
yeah,
like
full life
child, perfect, unflawed, healthy, full teeth, like a perfect human,
and well nourished, because that was a big deal."
And this leads obviously Dementis to realize that there's some sort of part of the story must be true. So he just says, "Clean her up, feed her, put her away. We'll take you home."
He was super nice to her.
He's really cool and
issue.
calm.
Yeah,
and it seems reasonable at the outset of all of this, to the point where we're kind of like convinced that he must be kind of okay.
Well, he has dogs.
Yeah,
everyone has dogs.
Everybody's got dogs. Is a good guy.
Yeah.
And so the next kind of montage is her life as before this montage, she's put in a tent overnight. She's cleaned up. And her mom sneaks in with the coolest slingshot of all time.
Yeah,
it's like a ball bearing slingshot made out of like a gear.
Yeah, like a gear for almost like the back of a motorcycle.
Yeah. She kills a bunch of guys with this thing, but leaves one woman alive
because she was a mother.
She's, "I'm a mother too," and leaves her alive. And then that lady immediately rats her out.
Immediately.
So she rescues Furiosa. They're on the bike together. They're riding into this. I honestly think it's the same one from Fury Road. There's a scene in a like pinch like that in Fury Road that
there is. Well, remember when we would get there and she makes it to the top of the hill on the other side, and there was the tree.
That's right.
Yeah.
So rips into there and says to Furiosa, "Ride for 3 days, go back to the green place. Yep. Go as fast as you can.
Yep.
And then pulls.
If I don't find you in 24 hours, go.
24 hours, go." And so she basically goes back to this pinch, this like
she 300s
like
that
wide,
shit.
and she hot gates it, and she basically kills as many as she can before she's captured, which is a bunch of guys. Yeah. Runs out of ammunition, is clubbing guys with a rifle, and eventually gets like held. And Furiosa watches this happen, watches her get dragged off, and eventually can't contain herself and runs after her.
Yep.
She won't. She just doesn't leave, even though she knows she should. And we come to her crucified on a tree.
Basically.
She's nailed to a tree. She has a fire burning underneath her. They're torturing her. We don't really see exactly what they're doing to her.
It's very implied.
It's not great. It's not great.
They were not nice people.
And our man Dementis is like orchestrating this whole thing. And we have like a real sort of heartbreaking scene where neither of them give up the location of the green place. Yeah. The mother obviously is killed, and then it flashes forward to Furiosa in a muzzle in a cage. My favorite is with the what is it? The history man.
The history man,
who is this like ancient wizened dude covered in script, like just tattooed in script.
The husband of the lady from the first one. He looks Mother Keeper.
Yeah, he looks like Erebus from Horus Heresy.
Yeah, exactly.
With his long hair and all the like uniform shit written on him. Even his clothing is all covered in writing.
Which he was reading himself too.
He was reading himself at one point. Yeah. And then Dementis tells him, "Give us a knowledge burger, history man."
Here.
Yeah.
It was so.
And he's crying while he's giving out this knowledge while Furiosa's mom's being killed.
Oh, so she's getting tortured like in the worst possible way you can imagine, right? And she only ever says one thing the entire time, and that's when she calls out her daughter's name, and that was it. She never says anything else.
Yeah. And we forgot to say that as she's telling Furiosa to leave, she presses a seed into her hand, and we realize it's a peach pit.
It's a peach pit.
And this peach pit is going to become more important later on. So the montage now going forward, we cut to what we call lessons from the Wasteland.
Yeah.
This is the end of the Poll of Inaccessibility. Lessons from the Wasteland. We know now she's basically a ward of Dementis. Mm-hmm. And he raids, like he has kind of like a Genghis Khan style horde of bikers.
Yeah, it's pretty significant.
It's a coalition of like different bosses. So there's different bosses in each of these bike gangs. My favorite one is the guy with the black bull horns, who will become really important.
He who is boss as hell.
And another guy's got one eye.
His bike. They had like the quad machine gun. That was so cool.
Yeah, with the 4 machine guns in the front.
It's
very cool. And they go on this like super adventure, basically. Raiding, and she's living in this like paddy wagon with the history man, who kind of like semi-adopts her. Like he says, like, if you're smart and you can read, can you read? I'll teach you how to read. If you're useful, he will take care of you.
And he's like probably, at least in Dementis' camp, he's like the only decent dude.
Yeah,
like he's
the only one's like looking out for her. He's just given up all hope that he's not.
He's not trying to do anything.
He's not trying to get away,
just not
survive. And the advice he gives her is just like, do what you can to be okay with this.
Make yourself invaluable.
Make yourself invaluable and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
We end up now in a situation where Dementus attempts to raid the Citadel.
Yeah.
And it doesn't go great.
Not at all.
He gets his ass. We go to the Citadel. We discover that Immortan Joe is there, and he is younger, significantly younger.
Well,
2 of his sons are alive at this point.
Yes.
We have Scrotus,
who really does look like a scrotum.
Who really does look like a nutsack. Yeah, he's got like a huge burned face and a weird chromag kind of like forehead.
He got the short end of the stick on the jeans. I think.
Well, he's not big like Rictus is, but Rictus is also there. Nathan Jones is not looking great, by the way. He looks older in this movie than he does in Fury Road.
He you know what? He was fine.
Dude, he's like 50. He's almost 60. Like,
he was fine.
Let him age.
If he wants, you know what? That's hard keeping up.
It is a lot to keep up
with.
And so they basically, he says like, do something like, what is it? Give up your place, or we've got 10,000 warriors here. They're going to fight you and kill you or whatever. And Morton just goes, pick one of my war boys.
Yeah.
And he's like, what if I don't want to pick? Because like the other thing with Dementus is he's got jokes, man.
Oh yeah.
Like he's got jokes.
Here's the thing about Dementus.
He's got real Mel Gibson.
I loved him. Like he was so good.
He was over the top.
Chris plays him amazing. It's so good.
Chris playing Mad Max Mel Gibson is pretty great.
Here's the thing though, and here's the thing too, and I don't know if you'll agree with this or not. You actually like Dementus, like you're like sort of kind of see it, like
because he's at this point he's taking on the bad guy from the next movie.
He thinks he's the hero,
and if you know anything about the movie,
he's the hero.
Yeah, exactly. And like he's saying to the people that are all hiding around him, like, "We'll bring you food. It's gonna be all.
I'll double your rations and double your water, and you'll never go hungry again."
Like he's saying all these like things to try and rally the people against Immortan Joe, and Immortan just goes, "Pick one of my war boys." He goes, "What if I don't want to? You go pick one," and somebody else picks one. And then he just says,
his bitch boy does.
He just looks at the war boy and he goes, "You were awaited." And then he just goes over and grabs 2 like polecat poles and goes to the edge, sprays his face, and then friggin' just jumps
Witness
off
me
and
fucking
right off the top
high wires that shit
down
and just right in the middle of the fucking Marauders.
Yeah, and that's when they're like, he's like, all these men would die for me.
Every single one of them
in a moment's notice. And he just turns around and walks away. And the war boys just light up the horde.
They just light the whole thing up.
They start jumping down with hooks, pulling the bikes up in the air.
Here's the thing that got me though, right? So, and I'm skipping ahead, but we're not going to talk about it. But like, they were struggling to crane that truck up.
Yeah.
But man, when they were fighting with those cranes,
no problem.
Surgical.
Getting a
surgical motherfuckers.
Getting a motorcycle is amazing.
Jeez, OP.
So like the whole fight is basically Dementus and his men getting their asses kicked.
Totally pwned.
And they run. He almost loses Furiosa because the whole people, like the people living around the Citadel, kind of grab her and try and drag her away. And this woman's going to become important later on again because we realize what's down there, which is what they're actually eating most of the time. It's not great.
It's not good.
And Dementus saves her, throws her in his what I think is the greatest thing ever, which is his 3-motorcycle chariot.
3-motorcycle chariot.
Which, by the way, Dave Taylor told me is a real thing they do in Australia.
Yeah, you were telling me about
that. They make chariots being pulled by old like motorcycles, which is the most Australian thing that Dave's ever told me. Yeah. And Dave is one of the most Australian people I know, so that's perfect.
And he steers it with like rope. Like,
yeah. He legitimately he's got like a Ben-Hur chariot.
It's so awesome.
Made of motorcycles. It doesn't last, but it's pretty cool. He rescues his like cage thing. They take off. They get out of there, and that kind of ends section 1. We get into section 2. Which
did he rescue? He did rescue the cage, but he took Furiosa and put her in his
chariot. Takes off with it. Yeah. And then we get to the middle part, or the second part here, which is Tales from the Wasteland, where we start to and this is Lessons from the Wasteland, and now we get to understand that that he has bigger aspirations.
He does.
And his aspirations now are, I need to become one of the warlords of one of these places so that I can get the respect that I'm owed and start taking over.
I don't know.
I can't take the Citadel. I need to take the things around the Citadel.
I think he was always planning to take everything. I think that was always in his mind.
I just don't think he knew that it all was here.
Exactly
He's like
right.
in the region.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So his plan becomes, we're going to take Gastown. If we can take Gastown, like he watches the war rig leaving Gastown full of gas. And this is not the war rig we know of. It's an earlier one, which is just barrels of fuel and a big,
single half tanker, basically.
And the half tankers to put the food in to take to Gastown to trade for the barrels of oil that come back, or the barrels of gas that come back.
Mm-hmm.
They ambush it. They immediately kill everybody on board with flamethrowers and guns and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they do a false flag and pretend to be war boys and then take it back to.
To be fair, they try to do a false flag.
They do a false flag because what happens is they're driving back, chasing this war rig that they're now driving and pretending to shoot at it.
Yeah.
And the guy who's Morton Joe's brother, who's running the gas town, is like, it's not, something's wrong. It's not right.
It's not right
because nobody's dying.
Yeah, don't close the.
He's like, don't open the gate. Don't open the gate. And so, realizing this, Dementus starts shooting one of his
with a fucking compound bow.
Yeah, just starts killing his own guys to prove that it's actually
to
them,
make it look legit,
real.
Yeah.
And then the guys are like, open the gate. So they open the gate. They get
and
inside.
that's when he loses one of his warlords.
Well, not right away, but we realize one of his was like, you bastard, like he's now not
Dementus,
cool with
you
Dementus.
Bastard, yeah.
Because Dementus will do whatever it takes to get inside.
Exactly right.
They get inside. The war rig gets inside. It's a full Trojan horse full of guys. They take the gate. They let it in. They take over Gastown. And then force a parlay with Joe. Mm-hmm. And in this parlay, they arrive with Joe's brother in what I can only be described as like a saw trap.
It was 100%.
It was like a jigsaw trap.
The thing is, though, and this is where it's really awesome.
I'm not super clear on why it's nose ringed and nipple ringed to Dementus, though.
I don't.
Which is a whole.
That was so weird. You never get that from him, but he's attached.
Yeah.
Which you would totally think from like Maneater or whatever the hell his name
is. The People Eater is doing that all the time. Who is constantly playing with nipples.
Like he didn't have his hands not on his tits like through the whole movie.
The whole time.
But the rig, like the saw rig, was basically it was a spring from a car, right? Yeah. With a steel spike going through it, and it was being held back by Dementus.
So that if you mess with Dementus, whole time, basically, it would go through.
It was basically like a kill switch. So he was carrying around a kill switch for this.
And they've said that we've got this transmitter code that you can punch in to keep us from blowing gas farm. If you don't punch it in, gas farm's going to blow, and if we're not back at gas farm in 24 hours,
by 24 or by night, I think.
So the idea is that like no matter what happens in the parlay, you like talk to us, or we're going to kill your brother. If we don't come back, then we're gonna blow up Gastown. You won't have any gas anymore anyway. He's like forcing their hand in this parlay. Joe just decides they kill his brother anyway. They jostle him, and it rips.
Well, because Rictus is like, "Fuck you."
Rictus goes out. Rictus just like stupids his way,
which
into this
rips
thing.
Chris's nips
like just
right off his body.
And
I'm pretty sure he came at that moment in time because he had,
and also the nose ring.
And the nose ring too. Like everything happened,
and it explodes. The brother's head. The spike just goes directly through his forehead and falls down on the ground. And it is a wild ride for a second.
It's so crazy. And he had post-nut clarity. Like the whole, it was the weirdest thing you ever saw. Like it was so
dark, is what it was.
It was dark.
And the negotiations don't break down though, because Joe just says, "I'll give you a quarter what you're asking for."
Yeah.
But I also want the organic mechanic, and I want the girl.
Yeah, he was super interested in Furiosa the second he saw her.
The second he sees that she's like unspoiled and figures out who she is, and the organic mechanic, when he describes who that is, he's like, I'll take those as well.
He saw the value in the organic mechanic, and he saw a breeder.
And he saw
100%
he saw someone for his breeding program that he's got, his brides or whatever.
Yep.
And Dementus accepts. At this point, Furiosa is holding his teddy bear because she's had it for a while to like take care of.
Because he gave it to her.
He gave it to her to like comfort her or whatever.
Yeah.
And he walks over, and he is this is the kind of like coldest and weirdest we've seen him be. He gives them over, and he just takes the teddy bear.
Takes it back, snatches it.
And just like snatches it and then leaves. And everyone's like, good job, boss. Great. And that ends our second part.
Yeah.
Because we now have Furiosa living in the Citadel as one of Morton Joe's brides.
Yeah, to become a breeder.
Yeah.
And they actually show the process, like they walk them through like the birthing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the first one or the one that we actually see get birthed is like four-legged.
It's a twin. It's a conjoined twin.
Yeah, conjoined twin.
With four legs. It's super gross. She is like sex pested by Rictus the entire time.
It's
incredibly uncomfortable.
Nasty.
It's super uncomfortable.
And it's like he plays with her hair because she's got bells in it.
And she's hiding this peach pit in her hair. She's been hiding this whole time from Dementus and now from Immortan Joe.
Yep.
But as he starts to like hassle her, she sees an opportunity. She shaves her head, makes a wig out of her own hair with candle wax
and a doily.
And then when he comes to get her and like kidnap her out, she runs and he grabs her by the hair and her hair comes off.
He took her to his doll room.
his weird.
Did you see his pauldron?
I did see his
Oh,
pauldron.
jeez.
It's all very, very uncomfortable.
This dude has got.
It's gross. And he chases her out into the night. Basically,
Yeah.
she like leaves, jumps underneath the
a catwalk with a pipe,
basically, and Scrotus is like, "What are you doing, Scrotus?" Or
what are you doing?
He's like, "Nothing. I just thought I
Shut up, Ballbag.
Shut up, Ballbag." It's so funny. The two of them fighting. They're such catty bitches to each other. It's great.
The funny is Ballbag is way smarter than Rictus, like by a country mile.
By a lot.
I thought I heard something.
That's right. Yeah. And so they leave, and she's clinging to the bottom of this catwalk and escapes down. And we get one of the coolest montages.
It was pretty neat.
Her hair goes flying off the edge of the citadel onto like a sprig of like tree growing at the edge.
It looks like a spike almost.
And we get to see time go by because the tree grows out through the doily in her hair.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's probably about a year's gone by now. She's living with like the kind of mole people down at the bottom. And eventually she gets up into the citadel as a volunteer or like a worker and pretends to be a boy and works in the manufacturing like foundry basically.
Yeah, she was working with the crane crews. That's when we see her after the tree grows. She's working with the crane crew. I think she's actually helping to run like the lifts.
Yeah,
basically.
It's like the slave power that's pulling the chains that are lifting things.
That's what
down.
she's doing. Yeah.
She gets into the citadel that way. And as they're trying to get this like back end loader truck up, it starts to slip and fall. They send a bunch of guys to go and try and like get it back up, and they all die. And so they send her because she's small.
Well, yeah,
and she manages to hook it up, save it, and they make her the new door. The
doorkeeper kind of thing. They take the gloves from the one guy, give it to her, which is great because now she can cover up her tat. Because she gave herself a tat, which we never talked about.
She's been slowly giving herself a tattoo while she was with
History Man.
While she was with the History Man to keep track of where she is in relation to the green place.
So that she wouldn't forget how to get home.
She would not know how to, because she knows where the landmarks are at the point she's kidnapped at, and she's just keeping track of where she's moved from there with the stars. And so the next part of the montage is her coming up through the ranks basically over time, and we go from child Furiosa now to Anya Taylor-Joy. She's at that age basically,
full sloth.
She's grown up, and she has a like initiation basically into building the new war rig.
Well, yeah, she basically becomes like a Black Thumb basically, to assist in building what we know to be the war rig, though. Shiny, brand new, and really fucking cool.
And we meet Praetorian Jack.
The Immortal Joe.
This isn't even the war rig from Fury Road. This is another war rig that is destroyed later on.
It's like because it does get destroyed.
There's
but
a
it's
prototype,
like,
there's this one, and there's going to be one more later on.
Yeah.
So this war rig is very shiny. It has a thing they call the Dauber Knocker.
Yeah, the Dauber Knocker. Yeah.
Which is a giant drill head with balls and chains.
With flails on
We
the
don't
back.
really know what it does until you do, and then it's pretty impressive.
It is pretty great.
And we also meet Praetorian Jack.
Yes.
And Praetorian Jack is the most successful war rig driver they've ever had. He's a road warrior.
He's never not returned with the goods. That was his
That's his thing. And so he is trusted by Immortan Joe. He drives the war rig. And now we understand that there's Praetorians and war boys. Praetorians are full life warriors who are like the royal guard kind of.
Basically, yeah.
And trusted by Joe. And the war boys, the Half-Life war boys, are disposable.
They're
cannon fodder.
100%.
Like they know they're going to die. They're suicide berserkers basically compared to the Praetorians. And we get the first run of the new war rig, and that's where we transition again into this is the most impressive set of the montage. It's the second act of the movie now.
This is as close as you get to Fury Road.
Yeah,
in this movie.
And apparently this took 78 days to shoot.
It's crazy.
Anya Taylor-Joy said that this was the longest in all the interviews she's done. This is the longest section of the entire movie. It was 78 days because it's one long action sequence.
It's pretty nuts.
It's amazing. So the war rig goes out on its run. It's going to Gastown.
On the only road in Canada.
That's right. It's going to Gastown.
Yeah.
And it's beset by a bunch of raiders who are not actually Dementus's raiders. They're a faction that's splintered off from it. And we realize it's the guy whose men were killed.
The guy the guy that has these massive horns, who, by the way, is the one who killed her mom.
That's right. He's the guy who's actually torturing the mother.
He was the one that was torturing the mother.
Yeah, he's the one that's torturing the mother at the end. And his like gang, his war band is attacking the war rig. We don't see Furiosa. It's just Praetorian Jack.
Successfully, I might add.
It's Praetorian Jack and the war boys. They're doing okay. They're defending themselves. But as they're fighting, a bike gets like run over by the truck wheels, and it dislodges something from under the truck, and we see another motorcycle chained up underneath the truck fall down and start dragging, and we see Furiosa also chained up under the truck, basically hang on for dear life. We'd seen her hiding something random.
It was food
under the truck, but it was food.
It was potatoes and
and stuff like that. someone catches her and she just pretends she's taking a piss in a piss bottle.
But by the
There's
way,
a lot of piss bottles in
yeah,
this movie, by
and
the
she
way.
never talks while she's like in the Citadel. She never says a word to anybody.
Yeah. They say she's a mute, and
say
they
she's a
never
mute.
that she's never going to talk.
Which is important, I think. That's like,
and she's basically trying to stay hidden while this battle's going on, but eventually the other Praetorian, the second in command, he's trying to fix one of the engines which has gone out and is killed, and it flies down underneath the truck, sees her, realizes she's one of them, or that even if she's not there, and hands her the part.
well, because he knew he was gone. Like he was yeah. So, and this was the Black Thumb that designed the war rig. Yeah. So he hands the pipe to her for her to fix the rig, hoping that she'll do it.
Yeah. And then the bike that she has, the chain comes loose. He comes flying off. The whole thing leaves.
It's something we missed though too. This entire time she's been posing as a boy.
Yeah, no, I said that.
Did you?
Yeah,
oh, sorry.
She's posing as a boy.
I was
trying to survive. So no one knows that she's Furiosa.
Yeah.
And so she crawls to the front of the truck, starts fixing the rig. Praetorian Jack's still yelling at the other Praetorian to try and get
thinking that he's there. Yeah.
He's there. And all of a sudden the engine just comes back online. He hits the gas and he starts going. And she eventually manages to climb back up during the battle. And they see each other. And there's a moment where like he's like, "Who the hell are you?" And then she just shoots a guy that's gonna kill him. And then he shoots a guy that's gonna kill her. And it's like, I guess we're working together now.
Yeah.
And they have this great like Tango and Cash gunfight where it's just the two of them left. All the war boys.
Yeah, everyone else is dead.
Except for the tiniest war boy, who's the one in charge of the dauber knocker.
He's not dead yet.
He's not dead yet. He's gonna be dead soon. He's in the back.
He's so cute though.
He's very cute.
He's so
but
cute.
He's not. His one job is to push the dauber knocker button if he has to, and he hides inside the produce thing.
And he pops up like three. He's like,
yeah. He's like, "Can I do it? Yeah, can I do it?" And it's like, "No, you can't push the button yet, my guy." And so there's a lot of sort of like a back and forth on this. And eventually they have to employ the dauber knocker because the boss, the like warlord leader, is coming towards them with like a machine gun. And by the way, all of these raiders can fly.
Oh, so that's the thing.
This is one of the best parts. They're all parasailing behind motorcycles, or they have like airboat engines that they're flying
strapped to their backs, so they get.
And then the boss guy's an ultralight. He's flying. Yeah,
there's an ultralight, and then it's basically airboat engines on their backs with parachutes.
But the ultralight has like squid.
A giant squid. It's so anybody who's ever gone to like a kite festival.
It's a kite festival.
It's like a giant octopus, basically squid thing, solid black, but it's flying behind him. So it looks really epic.
Cool.
It's really cool.
And they're all about to die. And Furiosa's like trying to kill the last of them. And he's coming towards a machine gun. Jack is like on his last legs, so's Furiosa.
Yeah.
And she just dives because they're gonna put the dauber knocker on, and they think that they're just yelling for the other guy to do it, and the little war boy, he gets shot and then he dies.
Yeah.
So she hits the button, the dauber knocker spins around, and all of these balls and chains spin at like, I don't know, like 200, 300 RPM.
Yeah.
And the warlord flies into it and just gets obliterated.
Yeah.
And what's even better is it wraps up the squid. And now the squid is
behind
just
it, like it looks
trailing behind the
and
truck.
The reason he actually got pulled into it because she shot him through the leg with the harpoon, and she's getting him down into it, which is pretty sweet.
It's a really good montage. It's
very good.
It's hard to describe a like 35-minute action sequence, but it's probably the highlight of the movie.
If you took all the battles in Fury Road and you compress it into 35 that's what you get. And it's pretty boss.
And so now we have Jack and Furiosa in the truck, in the war rig, and she pulls a gun on him and says, "Get out." It's the gun she pulled off of him.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's like, he just slams on the brakes.
Nah, fam.
She slams into the window, and he just kicks her at the door and then just drives away.
Yeah.
And she's just on the road by herself, no guns,
limping,
no bike,
all busted,
all busted out.
She's got her shiny
just
gun.
Starts screaming because she's screwed, basically. And then you just watch Jack walk back.
Yeah, he didn't even back the truck up.
He just parks the truck and walks back, and he says, like, "It's been a bad day." and it's funny because he's the most Mad Max character in this.
He is.
He's dressed like in Road Warrior leathers. He looks like he's got the Mad Max haircut.
And he's so level throughout the entire movie.
He is just completely deadpan the entire
He's
movie.
Mr. Rogers. The dude is just like,
it's been a bad day.
It's all right.
Crew, I figure I'll start with you. And
it's
so
okay.
He recruits her basically and says,
basically,
wherever you're trying to run to, wherever you're trying to go, there's nothing out there.
I will teach you.
But I'll teach you what you need to know to be a road warrior.
Exactly.
I will teach you road war stories.
Road war, to survive, basically. He's like, I will equip you so that you can go wherever you need to go.
Yeah, that you can get wherever it is you need to go.
Yeah.
And that's how she becomes a Praetorian. He recruits her as a Praetorian. She joins him.
Mm-hmm.
And our next section's called Homeward, is basically their life together as Praetorians for Immortan Joe, and her learning the craft of road war.
Yeah.
At the same time, Dementis is not doing well as a warlord. Everything's falling down. They have to go on a trip at one point to Gastown to get gas.
Yeah.
And the place is in open revolt.
Yeah.
Like the workers are not working. And what's funny is Dementis has gone from like this colorful kind of like carnival barker. He's gray now. His hair is completely gray.
Yeah, because everyone's grown up.
That's right. Everybody's grown up. His hair is gray. His demeanor has changed. He does not want to be in charge anymore. He's like, they won't listen to me.
Yeah.
I need a meeting 3 days in front of the Citadel.
Yeah, so he's trying to like get everything together so he can like renegotiate the deal or whatever.
Because people aren't happy back at Gastown. He doesn't have enough food to keep them happy, and everything's falling apart. And so he basically escorts them out. He's like, if you gotta go now. And he's like,
if you want to live, like follow me or something.
He's
like
that.
They
don't have any gas. We're like, we can't leave. We don't have the gas filled up. And they've given away all the food. And so they end up just leaving and calling this meeting. And as they're calling the meeting, there's a moment where it's like.
So before this happens, actually, though. They actually made a stop at Bullet Farm. So we actually get to see Bullet Farm first.
We do. Yep.
And we get to meet who's the guy in charge of Bullet Farm?
The Bullet Farmer. I think
is that his name? Yeah.
And the judge.
Yeah, judge. Yeah, and he actually calls for the meeting too, right? Because he's super pissed about Dementis as well, and
that it's just falling apart. Yeah, they don't have enough gas.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not producing enough gas.
Exactly.
Either. The stuff with the warlords is falling apart.
Yeah, but the reason why I think that's important though too, because of the next thing you're about to talk about.
Okay, which is you talk about it.
So they go back to the Citadel basically, and they're like, everything's fucked. Like this guy's falling apart.
We got no gas.
And he's like,
and Scrotus and what's his name? We're like, well, we got no gas.
Yo, why we got no gas?
It sucks so bad. Yeah, we'll take our guys. We'll go beat them up. We'll get the gas.
So Joe's like, turn everything off. And go back to the Bullet Farm and fucking get everything.
That's right. Conserve all our gas.
Yeah. So they load up the war rig again, and at this point in time, this is where they've decided like. We're leaving. We're done. Yeah. Like this is where it's at.
As they're finishing the last run, he tells Furiosa, "You can go.
Yeah, you can go.
I dismiss you. You know what you need to know."
And then she asks him to go with her.
Yeah. And we get this scene basically where you realize that he tells her this sort of like story about the fact that his parents were soldiers in the before time, and they were looking for something worth fighting for.
Yep.
And they never found it, and he's been looking for something worth fighting for his whole life and never found it. And he's decided Furiosa is the thing.
And if you're keeping track, only the second good guy we found so far.
It's not even good guy, but like guy is willing to like not accept the stuff.
He's a reasonable man.
That's right. The Lord of Mangus is a reasonable man.
Yeah.
And so they head back to Bullet Farm. And as they get there, unfortunately, they pull into Bullet Farm to come load up all the bullets.
So before they get there, they stop. Okay, so they stop and
that's right.
And Jack is like rejiggering everything because what he's trying to do is he's prepping for them to leave, right? So he takes all the war boys out of one of the rigs, one of the pursuit cars, and he has them put 2 bikes in the back of it to put all the fuel in it, all the food that it can carry, and then he says, "Furiosa, you're driving it," and she gets mad. All staged, and she's like, I drive the war rig. And he's like, not today. Today you drive Pursuit.
And he promotes a war boy to the rear and then to drive the war rig.
Yep,
as well.
exactly.
He's like, you get to drive home afterwards. And he's like, oh boy. And the war rig's all excited.
Yeah.
And it's funny because this kind of is like a callback to Fury Road where she's also plotting this thing and like having to deal with the war boys on the rig to like make them think everything's okay while she's plotting her like
and the war boys just do it. Like they don't question shit. They're like, let's go.
That's right. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And so as they pull into Bullet Farm and she's now driving a pursuit car, the war rig pulls in, another car pulls in, and an ambush gets launched right at the gates of Bullet Town. The gates slam shut behind them. Yeah, the dog comes walking out holding a foot. Just holding a foot.
It was the peg leg dog, too.
It was peg leg dog, One of our favorite dogs. The dog that unfortunately has a crutch for
But that shows you how Dementis is like he takes care of the dogs.
He takes care of his dogs.
He doesn't take care of the dogs. Remember the puppies?
Max takes care of dogs.
Max takes care of dogs. He had a dog. Remember he had the shepherd. It was nice. The cow dog.
It wasn't a shepherd. It was a
cow dog.
It was a cow dog, yeah. Australian cattle dog.
Yeah.
But the whole point of this ambush basically is that now Dementis has 2 of these places taken over. He's taken over the Bullet Farm while the judge is away.
Exactly right. Yeah.
And he controls basically all of the supply for gas and for bullets.
Yep.
And the ambush goes amazingly well for the ambushers.
Yes.
They almost fight their way out.
Yes.
The Jack abandons the war rig, runs to the gates to try and get to Furiosa because she's outside in the pursuit vehicle. She doesn't get trapped.
Yep.
She's shooting people inside with her brand new shotgun that the Bullet Farmer brought her. Well, actually, Bullet Farmer brought Jack, which is a double-barreled,
double-barrel sawed-off.
It is a callback to the original Mad Max. It is Max's like double barrel like break action, like 12 gauge basically. It's kind of sawed off. It's not sawed off as short as Max's.
It's not super short, but it's short enough to get the job. She's got to spray.
She's definitely got to spray people. So back and forth. Basically, Jack realizes he can't make it to without getting killed. There's a flamethrower everywhere now. Another car like gets in behind him and has cut him off.
Yeah.
And
so they dropped the gate on it.
They dropped the gate, and he just gets back in the war rig. And because there's all these people coming out, and he's like, they're gonna get Furiosa, and he goes, "Go!"
Yep. Well, I think that he fired the flare.
He fires the flare, which is a green flare, which means go.
Yep.
Gets in the war rig and just goes charging off towards the pursuers, and just smashes a bunch of them by himself in the war rig, and then initiates this pursuit because it's a big pit mine through this pit mine in a giant, huge circle.
Yeah, just killing dudes all the way.
Furiosa kills the remaining people at the gate, gets out her sniper rifle, lays down a bunch of fire. And we realize that Dementis is on the foundry tower, the big smelting tower, with RPGs trying to shoot. And she's trying to pick off whoever's the RPG before they can blow up the war rig. This fight basically escalates and escalates and escalates to the point where she gets blown up with with
an RPG.
An RPG.
Yeah.
The war rig gets destroyed by
a dredge.
A dredge, basically.
Yeah, it's a dredge.
And she has to jump on a motorbike and rescue Jack. They both get back to the top, get in the pursuit vehicle that they've
haul ass.
They haul ass out of there. And then Dementis gets into his new ride, and his new ride is from Gastown and is a monster truck. And it's amazing.
It's totally unrealistic when you see how fast this thing is.
It's a 6-wheeled monster tow truck,
and it is obscene.
So it's fast. But it's fast mostly across sand compared to cars that can't drive in sand.
Yep.
So they go off road, and that's the thing is he goes off road and gets to play just bashes the gate down with it. Him and all the motorbikes basically start pursuing Furiosa and Jack across the wasteland because they think they've gotten away. They haven't. They can't drive as fast over the sand as he can because he's in these giant monster truck
massive tires.
They eventually get flipped over and caught. And we get the scene. During this thing where their car gets crashed, we get one of the 3 almost Furiosa losing her arm moments. She's got her hand outside on the roof of the car.
Do not watch this movie and that scene specifically. If you're squeamish, or 2, if you just had Taco Bell, because you will shit your pants. Like it's bad. Oh, it's so bad.
Yeah, it gets ground up against the monster truck tire, and like a whole section of it goes away. And what's funny about this is the back of her arm is where she has where she's tattooed the map. So losing this arm is a big deal because she can't get home.
But now keep in mind, she's not lost the arm. She still has it.
She's still fine. They crash the car.
Fine is relative.
Yeah, they crash the car. The 2 of them get captured. Dementis has like a breakdown where he's like, "Look at you 2. You had hope.
You had hope. Yeah.
He's angry at them.
This is Max right now. This is Max.
This is Max yelling at the kids.
Yep.
The Captain Walker's like feral kids.
It's 100% what it is.
The exact same thing.
Yep.
And the scene basically plays out where he decides to torture both of them. So he chains up. It's funny because this is a callback to Thunderdome. He chains up Jack behind a motorcycle and drags him to death. And he chains up Furiosa on the tow hook of the tow truck.
Of the 6-wheel.
And he's like, not by that arm.
Not by that arm. By the bad arm.
And you have your next moment where it's starting to stretch, and you're like, oh god,
you can see the sinew and stuff. Yeah. Like,
not yet. She's just hung up by this.
Oh no, like you could see it on the outside. Like it was
so. Then a sandstorm hits the whole camp. And we cut back to the whole camp coming out of the sandstorm, and he goes back to find Furiosa, and all it is her arm,
just her arm spinning, blood dripping down,
just spinning basically on the thing, and she's gotten away, and she's staggered out.
And you just see her a straight cutaway, and she's just hauling ass the desert, like panned on her arm like this, just fucking going.
Motorcycle, she's heading back to the Citadel, and she makes it. She makes the end journey on foot. Because she's dragged the rest of the way by the old mole people in the Citadel, and she wakes up in their food room, just surrounded by maggoty, rotten corpses.
Which, by the way, there's a tell if you pay attention when she gets almost dragged into the hole in the beginning. You can hear them and see them in the hole.
It's really
you don't know
gross.
what's going on, but there's something going on.
It's really gross.
It's so gross.
She staggers up to the lift as they're trying to get people back up into the Citadel and says, "I'm portraying Furiosa." And the door guard, whose gloves she had, recognizes
what
her.
the fuck happened to you?
And drags her up, and she gets up to Immortan Joe. Yeah. So Joe's now realized that he's lost control of both of his allied towns.
Yep.
And is like arguing on what to do. And she, in the middle of this, staggers into the room and starts telling Joe what to do. Telling Joe what's happened, that the bullet farm's gone. The judge is there, and he's like, "What do you mean the bullet farm's gone? The bullet farm can't be gone."
And there's the second false flag.
Yep.
So they set Gastown on fire, which makes everyone, or Scrotum.
Before all that happens, she says, yes, they see the Gastown might be on fire. She said the bullet farm's fallen too, and everyone's dead. And Joe says, well, there's a third option. We'll pretend that we think that the Gastown's on fire. And Furiosa grabs him as he's walking by with one arm and goes, if you find him, he's mine.
Yep.
And he just like,
he just jerks away.
And walks away.
Yeah.
And then we get a montage of what they call the 40-day war.
Yeah.
So 40 days go by as Joe basically pretends to go out to the gas town, but at the last minute turns left and hooks around back as the basically the
once they make themselves known.
Yeah, the entirety of Dementis' forces are hiding their trail by spraying oil on the ground in front of themselves
and in a trench.
A trench. And as they reveal themselves, he gets warning basically from the Citadel, and he rips out after them.
Yeah.
And it's just 40 days of open road war.
Yeah.
Like there's just corpses everywhere.
It's amazing though too. So you don't see the battle.
Yeah.
They just like pan back
to
montage.
Yeah,
it's like fucking Gettysburg, right? And fucking dead things everywhere and all this fun stuff like that.
But the bodies.
But the thing is, so the reason they get him out of the ditch is because he sends his big monster truck caddy out there
it's the Giga Horse.
Yeah, the Giga Horse with like 5 support vehicles, and they're just dragging shit to make this gigantic cloud of shit. So Dementis is like, fucking work, let's fucking go. And that's what.
But it's not actually his full force. His whole force
5 vehicles. That's it.
Yeah. And so the battle ends, and the reason we need this 40 days is the recovery of Furiosa.
Yeah.
She builds herself her robot arm.
From like a wheelchair-y kind of weird fucking thing.
Some kind of weird wheelchair thing.
Yeah, it was weird.
And
it's got a motor.
She gets herself a hoopty car, because there's only one hoopty car left, which has 3 wheels.
Which, by the way, it has 3 wheels and a stick.
That's why it's able to run. And then heads out in the desert and is basically there just in time to see the last battle and to see the destruction of the giant monster truck that Dementis was driving. But realizes he's not there. Scrotus's vehicle has been damaged, and one of the tires on her vehicle, her like hoopty, will fit it. So as Scrotus and Rictus are arguing over who's going to go after.
Well, because they both wanted to go.
They both want to go after to kill Dementis. She just steals the car and takes off.
Hauls ass.
And we realize they've also captured the History Man, and they've just taken him as a prize.
Yeah.
Like they're not.
Oh, he's just standing there, like.
And they're like, who's that? And he says the darkest angel of death.
Yeah, the darkest angel. The fifth
horseman of the apocalypse.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And she rips out in like this amazing roadster super murder car. It's probably the coolest car in the movie.
2 big ass Nas. On the back.
And we realized that Dementis still had his chariot because he's out riding it with his like last 4 guys. One of his captains, 3 of the remaining
and his bitch boy.
And his like it's like the gyro captain, but not the gyro captain.
Yeah.
And she rips over, kills most of them. The remainder decides they're gonna scatter. So she kills who's in the chariot. Turns out not to be Dementis. Watches another one go through.
It was bitch boy.
It was Bitch Boy, yep. And watch through and goes through like the canyon from Road Warrior and get attacked by the bird people.
Yep.
Who are the Death in Paris parody people, torn apart. And the last motorcycle we realize is Dementis. She catches him. And
it was really cool how she catches him though. So he thinks he's away. He ends up setting up camp. He sets up a tent, all that fun stuff like that. You see him wake up. Life is great for Dementis, right? He goes get his water, empty. Yeah. Interesting. Climbs out from underneath the tent. Wheel off of a motorcycle's been missing. Interesting. And he just starts talking to her without even seeing that she's there. Without even knowing
she's there.
Yeah.
That's right.
Because he knows.
I know who you are, but I know you're there.
Yeah.
And they have a long conversation breaking down how she is him.
Yeah, he turned her
into him, and how there is no hope, and how this is the wasteland.
Yep.
And this was the moment where it's cemented for me that this is Max.
Yeah, it's Max.
And that he's passed on his madness basically to her, and that she eventually kills him.
Yeah.
He's like, we can do it slow.
Coolest way
we can do it fast. We can do it slow.
To be fair, you never see him die.
You do. You see her shoot him through the back of the head with the teddy bear.
That wasn't what happened, though.
Yeah, it was.
No, the tree.
Oh, sorry, we don't.
Yeah,
right.
Remember she killed him so many ways.
A bunch of different ways that they could kill him.
Yeah.
But in the end, the historian is telling the last bit of the story.
Because she whispered it to him.
Because she whispered to him directly that there's a secret room in the Citadel.
It's where Jack took her to like patch her up. Yeah,
there's a pool of clean water, and that she is chained up. Dementus planted the peach pit inside him
in his dick,
and there's a tree growing out of his abdomen.
Out of his dick.
He is just there basically for the next 20 years, feeding the tree as like its victim and its slave.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the montage we see. We see this like emaciated Dementus with this peach tree growing out of him, and the movie ends at the beginning with her picking a peach off the first peach off this tree, and then going down, cutting it into slices, and giving it to the brides.
Yeah.
And then escorting the brides to the war rig to get them.
And
away.
This is where it flips to black, and now it's
a fully grown.
Yeah, it's a fully grown.
It's not a trailer joy
exactly
anymore.
Right.
It's a thoroughly.
It's now Fury Road.
It's now Fury Road. It cuts to some montage of Fury Road. That's our film. Yep. So we go full circle basically from the beginning picking the peach, the end picking the peach. Our montage shows her whole story in these like 5 chapters, and I have to say that like. My two favorite things about this movie, and I do think that there will be, like I said,
I know the first one.
Them. Okay, what?
Take my weed, drink my piss.
That's right. I was gonna my second thing, but it's the moment where the radiator's overheating in the war rig, and there's a guy who's just a bunch of piss bags because he's just got covered in piss bags.
Oh my god, that breaks on fire! Piss boy!
And he throws piss into fire to put it out, or he dumps piss in the radiator to keep it overheating. Piss boy's maybe my favorite.
He's so awesome
in the whole movie. My second favorite character is Jack. I like the fact. Oh no, and we forgot. My second favorite scene is as she's staggering back to the Citadel, we see Max.
Yeah, we do. Okay,
we see the Interceptor, and we see Max basically, and he's just watching her stagger. He doesn't do anything.
So here's the thing. So Ash and I were thinking the same thing pretty much the whole time.
Not Max, Feral Kid Max.
Yeah, Feral Kid Max. Yeah. So when we're watching it, Ash actually leans over and he's like, he's Max. And I'm like, maybe if we multiverse this shit. And then when I see Feral Kid Max looking down at her walking back to the Citadel, I'm like, yep, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, he's Max.
We've seen both.
100%. Because now we know. Yeah, it's pretty good.
And so it closes out. So my three takeaways from this was the writing was really good. It was written by George Miller and someone else. I can't remember the name.
I can't remember his name. Not the guy from Fury Road, different guy.
It's 2 different writers. And the anthology format fits this story so much better than trying to do a full 2-hour straight narrative.
I agree.
But like I said, I do think that will also be the most unpopular part of the movie.
Maybe.
It will be.
Yeah.
It will be because you go in with expectations. Nobody had expectations on Fury Road because they hadn't made a Mad Max movie in 30 years.
Yeah.
Right? They've made a Mad Max movie 9 years ago, which means there's going to be an expectation that it's going to be like the other Mad Max movie. You got a very different movie.
I think here's the kicker though. I think there's obviously going to be the fucking gatekeepers out there. They're going to be like, fuck you, like whatever.
Well, it's not gatekeepers, just people that want the same thing over and over again, right?
Anyway, but I think here's the kicker though, right? Sure. You still get Fury Road in there for 35 minutes. Like it's there.
You get plenty of
awesome.
Road War.
And it's so nice and it's great. So you get that. If that's what you're lusting after, it's there, right? So you can get your chub and rock your night and it's great. But everything else they do to like build the story, it's the first time where they actually put enough material in the Mad Max world for you to understand the reasoning behind all this shit.
We understand this Wasteland.
Yeah, exactly.
We understand this Wasteland really well.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing is, I think this movie lets us go somewhere else.
I 100% agree. We talked about that.
We've finished off this story.
Yeah.
Whatever happens with Furiosa and the Citadel after Fury Road doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter at all.
And now you can go back to Feral Kid Max and have another story
100%
somewhere else in a different place.
Max lives on.
Different story. That's right. Because now we've We've seen what happens in the Wasteland, the way that societies can fall apart.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like knowing the whole history of that area now, I'm satisfied. I don't need any more.
No,
I
it's
don't need
fine.
any more.
I 100%. I agree 100%. Miller closed the book.
Yeah.
That one's done. Now Max can go do something else.
Hit the road again.
Yeah, he can go do something else.
Right? Because that was the joy of the first 3 films was we got to discover a new world every time.
Every time, yeah.
Right? Like it was a new society.
Bring back Tina Turner, goddamn.
And a new set of villains and protagonists, right? Like we've now had the same villains and protagonists kind of twice, with the exception of Dementis.
Yeah.
We have our in my opinion, our thread through the whole film, which is Max himself as Dementis, and then now the Feral Kid as a new version of Max, right? Mm-hmm. A new road warrior, basically. And we've seen that nothing ever gets better. So, like, for me, that's the whole point. That's the whole point.
That's the whole point.
Is that revenge, it's The Last of Us, right? Revenge is cyclical. It infects the person that you harm, right? Trauma acts in cycles. And the trauma inflicted on Max gets inflicted now on Furiosa, gets inflicted on, and goes on and on. And on and on.
Here's the thing, though. She has, again, whatever her story ends up being, she has a chance to, like, pull back out.
To break the cycle, yeah.
So she has a chance.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what
new Max does.
What new Max does.
And who knows what new Max... Well, I think he'll bear witness like he always does. I think he'll bear witness to someone else's story.
You'll see exactly right, yeah.
That's the joy of Mad Max Media, is that he is our audience POV. Mm-hmm. And I think that creating a silenter Max
is really good.
A more enigmatic Max is really good because it lets the other characters come to the front and be their own story.
I agree 100%.
And he can weave his
He's
journey.
the best supporting actor in an action movie ever.
He's the gunslinger.
Yeah.
Honestly, he's the gunslinger in all of the Dark Tower books where
sure.
Roland is enigmatic. The other characters are having their story.
Yep.
And they live out their story around him, and he's the thread that goes all the way through to the King in Red at the end.
He pushes it along as he needs to, and that's it. Yeah.
But he never changes.
He doesn't.
Right? Except for losing some fingers, basically.
And completely losing his fucking mind.
That's do you guys have any closing thoughts?
Fantastic movie. I would absolutely go watch it.
Yeah.
Even with all the spoilers that we've dropped, it's a banger. I'll watch it again for sure.
I'll watch it again to see all the stuff I missed.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that's the thing, is it's one of those movies where, like, there's so much to take out of it. There's so much in the background.
Well, because there's
stuff
there's so much history now, and there's so much content.
Yeah.
That's going into this. So this is not like a 10,000-foot view. We literally got down into it.
We spent time with each of the societies individually.
Yep. So we now have a better understanding of everything. So I agree. There's stuff we probably missed. Yeah. I just want to see Piss Boy again. Yeah. Fantastic. So good.
Who doesn't want to see Piss Boy again?
Piss Boy. Take my weed, drink my piss.
That's right. No, it was like, glorious war rig, take the sacrifice of my piss.
Basically, right?
So
and he didn't hesitate.
No, he was
Johnny on the spot with the pee bottle.
He was ready to go.
Straight up.
He died for that piss.
Also, those guys are really dehydrated.
Yeah. It's very orange. I mean, they're Half-Life 4 boys. So who knows?
True.
Yeah, so I was really excited to go back and revisit The Wasteland. Highly recommend.
I really
enjoyed this movie.
It's fantastic.
And if you like grimdark media, it's about as hopeless and bleak as you can possibly get. She's not a happy person throughout this movie. She doesn't have a great life.
It's probably the most goriest Mad Max too. I mean, it had some pretty fucked up shit in there.
Messed up stuff in it.
Oh god,
it wasn't great.
It was.
And they do in the credits they montage directly into this next scenes in Fury Road too, so you can get like the tie together and stuff like that. So I was here for it. What's the next one called? Because they're working on the next one now.
I have no idea.
It's Mad Max something. It actually comes back to Max.
Yeah. Well, the funny part is like I knew Furiosa was coming out. I didn't watch the trailer. I didn't watch any of the stuff. I walked into it like completely, and it was great.
I was a bit disappointed we didn't get the Man Who Sold the World version from the trailer, because I loved the Man Who Sold the World like rendition that they do for it. It's just guitar. It's like do for your guitar, and then like some like big coda drums, like dun 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 dun, and it's so good. We didn't get that maybe it's in the credits because we stayed.
Well, here's the kicker though. The reason we didn't get it because there's no Max.
That's true. Maybe.
Yeah, there's no Max.
Well,
you can't take his
there was 2 seconds of Max. There's 2 seconds of new Max, and then we had all of old Max.
Yeah, but no, well, he wasn't Max. His alter ego taken. Yeah, he was Dementis. To be fair, he never redeems. He never goes back. He dies Dementis.
He's not sorry.
He dies Dementis.
He dies broken, and claiming everyone else is broken.
Exactly right.
Anyway, so there it is. I hope you enjoyed this. We just watched, and of course you can check out more Grimdark Media in the Grimdark Media playlist. It'll be up in the like sort of video description in the cards, and it'll be in the end cap to this too. Thanks for watching this, man.
Yeah, it was awesome. Thanks for taking me.
All right, bye everybody.